Well, here it is. This is the tripod mount. I don't really know what you would call this thing. It's not a cage, and well, it's unexplainable at the moment. But this is what I use when we shoot twins on tech. It makes it easier to slide it into the tripod that I have right here. Modified that as well. I'll show you what I did. Very simple. Let's break all this down, put all the parts out here on the table, and then we'll show you what is what, and then how to put it together. Here we go.
The first thing that you see there is the Manfrotto tripod. You can tell it's been modified. I took off the center column there that extends it at the top and put on an Andur Arca Swiss compatible ball head. It's not the greatest ball head in the world, but for about $25, you know, what can you do? Next to that, next to the extension that has been removed, is a plate. It's made by Joby. It's called the Joby Hand Grip with Ultra Plate 208. You can see the plate and then the cylindrical hand grip right next to it. They came together as a kit. It's for about $50. That's crazy. I didn't pay that much. I only paid about $10. They were on sale. Totally worth $10. On that plate is another Andur product. Amazon has a lot of options here. It's an Arca Swiss compatible clamp, and that is what I use to hook the camera into on top of all of this silliness. Right, I guess in this picture at the bottom of the grip, you'll see a little screw, quarter 20 screw there. I use that to secure / pivot one of the arms, and that came from a really old and broken tripod. I have no idea what tripod it was. When my tripods break, I usually start to take them apart, and then anything I could reuse, I throw in a drawer or a box. So that's where this came from. To the right of that, the second Joby Ultra Plate 208, and I don't use the hand grip that came with that one, so that's just in either my camera bag or a box somewhere. We have the light that I use most of the time, and that is an Aperture ALM9 Amaran LED mini light is what that's called. That's about $50, and I have to say it's totally worth it. But if you don't want to spend that much, there are similar products on Amazon for much less. That's a little standoff right at the bottom of that I use to raise it up about 1 inch to 1.5 inches or so. And right below that is the clamp that actually comes with the Amaran light. Again, to the right, you see a flash bracket, and that flash bracket is, again, what I use to attach the one of the arms that I use to attach the, what do you call that, the phone onto for the FaceTime situation. And what I attach the phone into or clamp it into is the square jellyfish phone holder that you see right there. And finally, below that is an old tripod head from yet another but smaller, old, broken tripod. And there you have it. Those are the bits and pieces. Let's put it together.
Okay, well, now that we know what parts we have, let's put it all together. It's actually quite simple. We'll start over here with what holds my iPhone, which is actually what I'm recording with. So I'm going to use this iPod Touch as a stand-in. But it goes something like this. And that's how she looks before the gear is on. So you could take your light, slide it right in here. And again, this is normally where my phone goes. One day it might even be an iPad, but I'm not going to get carried away. And that goes there because when the camera is back here, it looks like I'm looking at the lens, but I'm really looking at this, which is where Brent is. Okay, so now we attach it. Very simple. Take out the old tripod. Make sure it's backed out. Slide it back in. And there she is. Now this is nice because with this thumb screw here, you loosen that. And you can then slide this in and out as necessary. Normally it's some markings on the rubber pad. Goes roughly right here. And I did forget the washer. It looks like it's a little loose. I'll fix that in a little bit, but that's what the washer is. It's the spacer, but it also kind of makes it grip a little better. And normally my camera, which I forgot today, great, is right here. And again, I'm looking this direction at Brent as we're doing a FaceTime connection, but it looks-ish like I am looking at the camera. And we turn on the light, which is pretty good. And that gives me just a little bit of fill over here because I normally have a pretty big light. The one that's actually right here now is over here, lighting me up. And 2 Allen wrenches. I will eventually be getting rid of this bolt, which goes right here. I will be getting rid of that to make a more standard bolt so that I can just use 1 Allen wrench, or get rid of all of the Allen wrenches and just simply use a flathead screwdriver because, again, I always carry my knife with me. This is pretty much with me everywhere I go. A little Victorinox one-handed serrated trekker and dirty trekker. And it has the Phillips and flathead, so I might swap those out. Again, I might, when the camera's on here on this tripod, I might buy a cage for it and then just kind of mount things to that. Either way, I don't want to use one that uses the hot shoe. That puts a lot of stress on that joint. And they're not really made for all of that. It's made for the flash. So if I put any extra pressure on it, I don't want to break the camera prematurely. But this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. And it works out quite well. Let me show you how it flattens so that when I put it away, it doesn't cause any problems in the bag that I carry it in. So, of course, first things first, let's take out this guy. We'll flatten that. Now what normally happens here is this guy gets loosened, allows me to twist it. We'll show you that in a second. We're going to take it off of the case here, or the tripod. Take off the light. And just as a side point, I did accidentally mount this upside down. This is supposed to go down here, but I can probably still make it work. We'll see what happens here. If it goes past it, good. There you go. I like the light to be higher anyways. This might have been a last second change that I did and I just forgot. I can't remember now. But anyway, so that is now like this, doesn't stick out anymore. This as well, we unscrew. We pull it back around. Easy way to do it is just let it hang, right? Gravity does all the work for you. Screw that down. This guy now comes back inside, and you tighten this guy down. And there you have it. Nice and thin, nice thin line. It doesn't get in the way. Looks almost like it could be some sort of taser or something, but there you go. That's it. Someone's having a good time over there in the break room. That is how she is. And it's super simple. It works out great. Hopefully I look great. And, if I don't, then I guess that's more of a personal problem. It also, by the way, I don't always have a ton of time to set things up. It has made setting up much faster and much easier, because pretty much, besides putting on the actual gear itself, I'm ready to go. Right? That doesn't take too long. And because this is Arca Swiss compatible and this is Arca Swiss compatible, I can leave the tripod mount on the hot shoe, not the hot shoe, I'm sorry, the quick release on the bottom of the camera. I can put it on here. If I don't want to use this whole contraption, I just slap it right on the tripod and I'm good to go. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this guy. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. There you have it. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed something. If you got any ideas, any suggestions, throw them in the comments. We'd love to hear what on earth I can do to make this better. Maybe even put a link in there to a video that you've done that might be similar. We could definitely learn from you as well. I'm going to go to the party.